Hello fellow human and welcome to this week's shop review. Starting off with the M60, all this thing really is a M48 pattern with a bigger ass because it's not a premium tank. In fact, it has one of the worst credit coefficients in the entire game. So if you're looking for a premium tank to make credits with, this is absolutely not it. If you just get the M48 pattern, you pretty much have the exact same experience, be it a couple of minor differences, but it's pretty much the same. Why would you buy this? I mean, you can't sell it for gold because it's a premium tank, so it's kind of useless. The ×5s are, however, unlocked for any vehicle, so that's a point you can get to. If you sell it for creds, if you get the 14 days of premium, and if you get the ×5 XPs, it can be worth it, but not for the vehicle, obviously. That's going to be gone. That's a meme, so not really worth buying it. However, what is absolutely worth buying it are these two. Get them now. These are two of the best tier 8 premium tanks in the game. And they're sold for a pretty damn good price, so this is undoubtedly a good bundle. Can't believe I'm saying that, but Wargaming has actually released something decent in the shop for once, which is certainly commendable. Then, however, we go back down, we go to the Super Hellcat and the M4. They're both tier 7s, and as tier 7s, they're worth no more than 3,000 gold in my opinion, because quite simply, why would you buy a vehicle that makes less credits and does less damage when you can just get a tier 8 instead? This thing is a generic vehicle. It doesn't really need a mention, because, I mean, why would you buy it? If you are into auto-reloaders and you want a generic Sherman with the MX-13 turret, then you can do that, but not really. The Super Hellcat for 5k is an absolute joke, because the regular Hellcat at tier 6 is pretty much a better vehicle than this tier for tier, at least, than the Super Hellcat at tier 7. Further going on with the jokes, that's the Astron Rex for 10,000 gold. I mean, if we go up here, we can get these two excellent vehicles for 12.5k. For only 2,500 gold less, we can get a piece of shit. That doesn't include camos, that doesn't include equipment, that includes nothing. It does have 1,700 DPM as a medium tank, 185mm center penetration, and 0.35 accuracy. Do I need to say more? I don't think so. This thing is an utter piece of shit. Then we have the T26E5, which goes the other way again, 5.5k for this bundle, 30 days of premium. Those 25s are free, right? These are not locked to the vehicle. This right here is also an excellent bundle. So if it is good Blitz bundles that 4th of July brought out, I'm a fan of it. So this is also a good vehicle. It's by no means amazing, but it is a good vehicle. So can sort of recommend it at that price. Now, would I get it if you already have these two? If you buy both? Now, not really. If you get this one, this is the primary one that I would get first. If you then have some spare gold left over and you like the way the Shark plays, then this vehicle is a more medium adaptation of that vehicle. So I can recommend this one as well, especially at that price point. The concept won't be, it would have been great to see it for 20k, especially because this thing doesn't include any special stuff, and these ×5s are locked, and no, that is not a special stuff, that is a waste of money. So essentially what you have here is you have a vehicle that is very competitive against, let's say, a Chieftain or a Super Conqueror, but the problem is, if you already have one of those, there is absolutely no need to pick up this vehicle. If you don't have any of those and you're really into the T125, it might be a decent pickup, but in my opinion, this is 5,000 gold too much. And new, there's this bundle of the Barask and the Samoa SM, again. And to be fair, 12.5k is a great deal for both of these vehicles, but TF42 and T77 are just better. So it depends. The Samoa is fine, certainly it's not a great tank, but it's definitely fine. And the Barask is a pretty solid vehicle as well. But overall, the T77 and the T42 are the better option, unless you really want the fast Barask. There are French containers, but the only thing you should do is retreat from them as far as you possibly can, because all the time, crates are bad. And in other news, there's now an Annihilator profile background draw, which I don't get the point of. They did the Smasher draw, now they do the background draw. This draw includes other worthless things, such as splinters, camo containers, and avatars, so please don't spend your gold on worthless things like these. Then the resources section, and this doesn't include credits. That is always good. That's the main thing to watch out for with the resources. If they include credits, they're pretty much always bad value. But this thing is a pretty solid starting effort. Let's say you want the T26E5, you get this thing for 12 euros. You have 15 days of premium, you have 60 gold boosters, you get your T26E5 for 5.5k, and now you have another 30 days of premium, and you have 500,000 credits, and you've got a tank. All that for 12 euro. If you want to go the other way and get the T77 and the T41, you can get this bundle, 12.5k, exactly covers it. You get a month of premium. So if you don't have the gold for the T54E2 and the T77, pick up this bundle and then get them. And for this week's tank feature, we have the Concept 1B. Now, I've made plenty of videos about the T54E2 and the T77. Highly recommend checking them out. I also reviewed them a bit more in detail in last week's shop review. But before we do that, don't forget to like and subscribe. Now, what's the thing with this tank? Now, problem really is that the head is very small and very good, but the problem is the second you turn it something like this, basically, you can get shot on the side, which is not really good. The hull is plenty, but tiny downside that it's not really a downside of this vehicle, but it's sort of the turret's too far in the middle. The 113 has a similar problem where it's just an extremely long tank, so the overhang of it is quite big. That's a tiny little downside it does possess, but it's not really something that's going to stop you from playing well with it. It is certainly a good vehicle. 380 alpha damage isn't ideal because obviously you have 20 less than all the others pretty much. Doesn't really matter, but it can add up over time. But here's the pretty excellent armor of that vehicle. Now, again, the main problem this thing has is that it's not enough of an edge over, let's say, a Super Conqueror or a Chieftain, or an E5 for that matter, that it makes it worth it if you already have those vehicles. I mean, it's sort of an E5 that's better at E5ing, but if you have a Super Conqueror, well, that's already that. So there's no real need to pick up this vehicle. But if you're new to that kind of thing, well, basically the baseline is if you enjoy the T125, this is an upgrade. It's a slight overpaid upgrade because I do think that it should be somewhere around 20,000 gold, given especially that the Chieftain has been sold for 17.5k multiple times. I don't think it's worth that much over it, obviously. So, I mean, the Chieftain is still a very great tank, but, you know, it has its difficulties adapting to certain playstyles. This thing is a lot easier to play, I'd say. So basically, if you get the T125, you enjoy the T125, and you would like to overpay for a American tier 10 hull-down heavy tank, then this is your option right here. Otherwise, you can also pick up the Super Conqueror. The Super Conqueror is a bit of a better gun on the vehicle, however it is less accurate, so you pretty much have a trade-off there. The turret armor is similarly excellent, but it's a bit slower, so overall it's pretty much a trade-off. And what are you doing, little man? Turn that turret. Turret traverse is good enough for me. It is mobile enough to make a difference. And now we have a Sheridan to hunt. That's gonna be fun. And what I'm gonna do here, obviously, I'm a heavy tank. I'm not going to just chase after the guy. What I have to do here is cut the map in half. Basically, you go to a place exactly like that, where he can't go anywhere, or he can only be in a certain part of the map, because if you allow him to access the entirety of the map, then obviously he can use his mobility, which is his biggest advantage. Now, I would hope that someone's going to cut off that side, but apparently not. But here we are. Come on. They're capping. That's also an option, obviously, to deal with a light tank or a medium tank, but I prefer the more active option here. 4.2k damage, that's alright. Not too bad, not too horrible. And now, should be able to be finished off by the FV, because he's trying to run away now, and he's trying to ride into the CC. Love that. So as you can see, clearly, the Concept 1B is a very good vehicle that can be played at a high point of performance. But is it worth it? Well, that depends entirely on you, and if you already have vehicles that play very similar to it. It's a good tank, though. So with that said, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.